thought that says that Moses was repeating God's words in Deuteronomy from memory. So even though he made some minor modifications, he was giving the gist of what he understood God to be saying, which perhaps is a good lesson, that even though the Word of God is sacred, each human being will bring to it his or her own interpretation.
The vast Sinai Peninsula appears as uninviting today as it surely was to the masses who followed Moses across it those thousands of years ago. Finally, after a long, tortuous journey, he brought them to within sight of the Promised Land.
The Lord said to him, "This is the land I swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, saying, I will give it to your descendants. I have let you see it with your eyes, but you shall not cross over there." Deuteronomy 34:4.
Moses then dies. During his long life, he led his people out of bondage in Egypt and delivered them to the Holy Land. Yet he had also murdered and disobeyed God in other ways. Why was such an imperfect man chosen by God to create a new nation?
There is no flawless hero in the Hebrew Bible. But by giving us a full picture of Moses, even when Moses stumbles, it enables us both to understand what it is to be a hero and perhaps to push ourselves a little further, to aspire a little higher because we have this image of Moses.
We also have the remarkable legacy of Moses in the form of the first 5 books of the Bible. While most scholars are convinced the books themselves were first written down centuries later by temple priests, they also believe key events, such as the issuing of the 10 Commandments, could be based on historical truth. And what of the tablets Moses brought down from the mount? Did they actually exist? Was an ark built for them? Was it carried by the Israelites through the desert wilderness for 40 years? According to later books of the Bible, yes.
King Solomon and all the congregation of Israel who had assembled before him were with him before the ark. Then the priest brought the ark of the covenant to its place in the inner sanctuary of the house, in the most holy place. 1 Kings 8:5.
Archaeological evidence exists that King Solomon, 1,000 years before Jesus, built a great temple in Jerusalem. This commentary in the scriptures, although most likely written much later, lends credence to there once being such a sacred vessel. Writing laws in stone was also a known practice of the period, suggesting tablets with 10 commands could be kept inside. But long ago, the ark mysteriously disappeared, or perhaps it was destroyed along with the first temple by the Babylonians in 586 before the Common Era. as testament both to the power of the idea of the Ten Commandments and the human imagination. The quest has never ended to find the sacred Ark of the Covenant. If it were found, however, would it alter the meaning of the Ten Commandments themselves? More to the point, perhaps, is how these 10 laws, first set down thousands of years ago, continue to influence our lives.
For me personally, the 10 Commandments are 10 expressions of principles that organize my life. When I break these principles, part of my person dies. At this time, in the late 20th century, in North America, we're asking, how can we be a people? Part of our civility means returning to the principles of the Ten Commandments.
When I was a young child, I memorized the Ten Commandments. I even had a bracelet with them written on it. I came to understand that Jesus' teaching about the 2 greatest commandments, the command to love God and to love one's neighbor, are a summary of the 10 Commandments.
For me, the 10 Commandments are the bedrock of our moral tradition. But as the foundation stone of an ethical vision and of a moral life, the 10 Commandments are irreplaceable.
To me, the 10 Commandments are both a constraint and a liberation. They're things that I can't do, but I understand that you can't paint a picture unless you have a frame. And the 10 Commandments are the frame. They are the limits within which I seek to create out of my life a work of art.
It may seem nothing short of miraculous that 10 laws, first proposed in a spiritual setting millennia ago, came to define religious and social behavior for the entire Western world. Perhaps the most intriguing question to be asked of the Bible's most influential tale: what would our world be like today if Moses had not received those 10 Commandments?